So I wanted to give a little context at the beginning of this video. Sharon and I had gone down to Gettysburg, south of us, to sort of do 2-day trip because we weren't able to get everything. We did the video for the National Cemetery. That sort of wore us both out, so we didn't photograph and video things the way we had wanted to on the first day. So we went back a second day. Second day, we really sort of concentrated on hitting everything we hadn't hit. Part of this video here is the Confederate lines. So we actually add in it's mainly Seminary Ridge. Some of Seminary Ridge, which involves the Union monuments, will wind up being in the second video, which is more the Union side. So this is more concentrating on the Confederate side, the monuments there, and just traveling along and showing a bunch of different stuff. Once again, it's just the idea. I just wanted to give a little context to this video because I didn't video this like I normally did just because of how worn out I've been as of late. And it was incredibly hot both days. And it was sort of like humid and brutal. And it was like, nah, you know what? I think I'm going to do a little videoing from the van and so on and so forth. So this is the first of the two-part of the actual battlefield. We already did the National Cemetery, and this is the Confederate side of the lines. I hope you guys enjoy.
So here we are at the Lutheran Seminary in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. This is the statue of Martin Luther. They also have some really cool quotes here. Truth is mightier than eloquence, the spirit stronger than genius, faith greater than learning. Whole bunch of different buildings. I'm not really sure which ones were. I know this building here was here during the Civil War during Gettysburg. This is the actual seminary. It's a really famous building. There's a couple other buildings I think were potentially here, but not really sure. I'll have to look that up at some point and maybe do a video just on the seminary. But the seminary is incredibly important and famous because the cupola that is up there, that is what General Buford used to look out over the battlefield to see where the Confederates were coming in and all that. So that's why this is so famous. So this building was certainly here. I'm not sure if church was or some of these other buildings. They could certainly be that old. It's just don't really know what was all here on campus, but I can certainly look that up for you guys, and I'll add a little bit to say which of these buildings was actually here at the time of the Battle of Gettysburg.
So I accidentally apparently deleted some of my footage after I made this other video, and it's the Virginia Monument, the North Carolina Monument, and there's I think it's 11th Mississippi Monument. So I'm gonna go over these a little bit. So the first monument here that you see, this is the Army of Northern Virginia, or the Virginia State Monument to what the men of Virginia sacrificed. It's actually a really neat monument as you look at these different pictures here of just how stunning they really just are, from the statue of Robert E. Lee at the top to the men of Virginia. So the next monument here is the North Carolina Monument to their sacrifices. North Carolina, I believe, was one of the states that had the most losses, if not the most losses. I think they were very much part of Pickett's charge, and they really struggled and suffered deeply in this battle in particular. This monument is phenomenally well made. Really shows the emotions of the men, and is really something. It's a shame they had, in my original video, I actually read the plaque, and just for whatever reason I just made a mistake and deleted it, so it removed it from this video, which had not been saved yet. But tremendous monument. Let's go on to our third. Our last monument here is the monument to the 11th Mississippi. They were part of this Pickett's charge and really suffered great losses. Another one of these amazing memorials. This is actually slightly before some of these other memorials. I think it's right before the North Carolina, and then after North Carolina is the Virginia Monument. But it's just a neat day, and seeing a lot of extraordinary things, and recording these men's sacrifices.
So we are at the memorial for Lieutenant General James Longstreet. He commanded the 1st Corps of Army Northern Virginia. He would also be the head of Pickett's charge, even though Pickett, it's called that, he was in charge of that charge, and he was very much against it. So we're going to go over and we are going to see his statue. And here we have General Longstreet's monument. Just a really, really neat, very detailed monument to one of the South's greatest generals. Just a neat bit of history. So this part of the video is called "It's Too Freaking Hot Out There." I don't feel like actually getting out and doing some of these monuments, even though they're really, really cool. Maybe come fall, when it's like normal temperatures, it isn't like the fire of Hades, we will do differently. We do have the map here. Yeah, I just was sort of like, because there's things over on the Union side, starting with Devil's Den, which is Confederate side, and Little Round Top, that I'd like to stop there again, and a couple things I'd like to, I don't think I'm going to climb. I know I'm not going to climb the 144th New York. It's like a castle-like monument, but I want to get a couple pictures. That's sort of cool. You know what? Let's stop for that bad boy. I don't know what that is, but we'll stop there because that one's sort of not cool bronze. Yeah, we're stopping in the shade. This is a parking spot, even though it's not a parking spot. And there's another one there too. So we're gonna stop at both of those. I am not exactly sure what this is symbolizing. Hopefully it has on the other side what it actually is. But what a cool looking bronze. Maybe it's not going to tell us what it's for. Anyways, Confederate soldier, I would assume, and then an angel of some sort taking them home. But I mean, just look at the detail on the feet alone. It's just insane. So we'll take a peeky at the monument there. It'll tell us what it is exactly, but it's really, really stunning. No doubt. All right, so it's Louisiana. July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 1863. So that's what that is. But that is pretty neat. So here we are at the Mississippi Memorial. Really stunning sort of action pose. Sort of the guys defending the fallen standard bearer. And it just shows the love that they had for each other and just the immortality of that action. Here at Gettysburg National Battlefield. So here we are, continuing after almost dying from stroke. It's bad. So we're not going to actually stop at these monuments. We stopped at the Mississippi and Louisiana just because they're stunning. But these are some other states which are nice monuments, but they're not the same. I'm trying to think. This is South Carolina, their monument, very cool. And then we will continue, and I'm putting the window back up because we're air conditioning the outside. But here you can actually see the battlefield and a little bit of Sharon. Hello. But this is the battlefield like that they actually crossed. That's Big Round Top, and Little Round Top is right next to it. We'll actually be going up on them again. Whether we're getting out at Little Round Top or not is probably not happening. It's one of the cooler parts of the battlefield, but it's the longest walk, and with how hot it is, screw that. Sorry, but ain't happening. But we are stopping at Devil's Den because Sharon needs to get a couple pictures there for like the devil. I think it's called the Devil's Kitchen. It's one of the many caves that's in that area, and really, really neat. And actually they found a soldier much later deeper in one of those caves, and it's just such a neat thing. We will put the window down again. This is another one of those state monuments. This is for Arkansas. Another cool monument there. Just very neat design, and each state would have paid for their own monuments here at the battlefield. But there really is, there's just so much history throughout here. We are on Seminary Ridge right now, which is where the Confederate lines would have been the second and third day. First day was sort of a mishmash, and the Union was more on that Seminary Ridge, but then got pushed back through the town and then settled on Cemetery Ridge. Seminary Ridge was named Seminary Ridge because of a beautiful seminary being there on that ridge, which we visited earlier. This is, I'm not sure if that's a state or that's Texas there. You don't think about Texas having troops here because they more fought on the western part of the Civil War, but they did have troops from Texas here. I think John Bell Hood was actually one of their best generals. He was actually from Texas. He would eventually wound up taking over, I believe it was, I forget what the name of the army was, but it was another one when Joe Johnston got killed. John Bell Hood took over, and I think he was killed as well. But he lost an arm here in the Battle of Gettysburg. It's portrayed very, very well in the movie Gettysburg. But here is another state. This is Alabamians. Very cool, but we're not stopping. But that's, all these different states, and there's another state up here as well. I believe it's a state. It might be something else, because I remember when we went past this the last time, I'm not sure if it was a state or not. So this is a memorial to the soldiers and sailors of the Confederacy there. Cool monument. But heat, this is the one thing when you have heat like this, it's better to come here when you're in the fall, spring. You don't have to worry about those types of things. But this is us coming up now on Big Round Top. I hope you enjoyed this journey that we took along the Confederate lines at the Battle of Gettysburg. And I hope you'll join us on the next one when we view the Union lines, where they were, and tell a little bit of stories and talk about the monuments and so on. So as always, I want to thank you for coming along, and we'll see you all about town, and we'll see you on the next one.